All right. Well, welcome. Thank you for showing up and spending this time with me so we can really help other people as well as you. So what I've noticed over the years is whatever struggles you're having that might feel specific to you or isolated or lonely are things that people all around the world are experiencing. And so you being willing to have a conversation about it really helps every single person who's also having those same struggles. So thank you for showing up.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right. So I do have some of your information over here on my other monitor. So if you see me looking over here, that's what I'm looking at. And you mentioned that the COVID period has been a big trigger, which you're definitely not alone there. And that you tried intermittent fasting, and you do love healthy food, but also some other sweets and things like that have gotten in the way. And then you did Beachbody. When did you do Beachbody?
So in 2014.
Okay.
So in 2013, before that, I never had a weight problem. I always was okay, eat whatever. But after I got pregnant with my son, when I delivered him, after that, I saw that the baby doesn't get all the weight. You get it.
Yeah.
So it was really hard. I used to feel that I don't recognize myself in the mirror. I felt not good enough, and I did Beachbody, like their Focus 25 course, and it truly helped a lot. But I was really determined to do it, and I did it, and I lost all the weight what I had gained. So after that, everything went fine. So after my second child, again, I had the problem, and I tried Beachbody, but it didn't work as good because I started having this belief that, you know what, whenever I want to lose weight, I can lose weight. I know how it works. But when you know that, sometimes it's not good for you, because in your head you think, okay, after this sweet meal, I'll do it. No, next Monday I'm going to do it. Next Monday I'm going to do it. And that Monday doesn't come.
It does not.
Yeah. So yeah, it's happening. And before COVID, everything was fine. I was happy with my weight. Yes, I still wanted to be a bit more leaner. But after COVID hit, I'm always home. I'm eating. I don't have to go out. So when I don't have to go out, I don't have to look at the clothes and all that stuff, how I look in the clothes and stuff. And it really, and I couldn't go to gym or do anything, and it really impacted on my weight. So I now feel it's high time I should do something about it.
Got it.
And I want to take a different approach than just, because I think it's the mindset. I'm not able to, in my head, I know what to do, I know exactly what to do, but I'm not doing it.
That, by the way, that sentence I hear like every day. So that is the most common thing I hear. I know what to do, but I just don't do it. So thank you for saying it so we can address it. So knowing what to do is fed to us by the weight loss industry, right? So when you did Beachbody, was Beachbody the first sort of education in weight for you?
No, before that I read a book. It was from an Indian nutrition dietitian. Her name is Rijita Devakar, and her book was very good. It said, "Don't lose your mind, lose your weight," and and it really helped, and it was really good that eat whatever you want to eat, just eat in moderation, and don't find any food as like good food or bad food, all that kind of stuff. So I did that. It was good. But when I wanted drastic results, so I wanted something drastic, so I did Beachbody.
Got it. And that sounds like the book that you read was like right on par with like the way that we're supposed to do it, I guess you could say, because that's what our body wants from us. It doesn't want the extreme drastic approach that is really good for temporary results. Like the Beachbody or the intermittent fasting or the various diets that we have are very effective for temporary results. So if you needed to get the weight off for a wedding, or you need to get the weight off for a vacation, and you don't really care what happens after, it's just, I need to look good for this thing. And so it doesn't really matter what the approach is, because you know in your head, it doesn't matter if it's extreme because it's temporary. The challenge is when you go to select those same things, but you're trying to actually have a long-term result, which is not what those things are designed for. So you're in a really good space now because you're questioning that. Like, I don't really want to do this temporary thing again. I want it to be, forever. So when you say, I know what to do, I just don't do it. Tell me what you're defining as know what to do that you're not doing.
So I know that I should be having healthy meals, more of veggies, fruits, and I should be eating under a certain calorie deficit and moving my body, like doing exercise every day, like at least walking or like whatever, like treadmill or some kind of workout. Plus, I have to eat in 1200 calories deficit until I get to that point. Right. And but what happens is I belong to an Indian family and we love food, and if we don't eat food in front of our families, we get punished that you're not eating enough, you're dieting and all that. So it's a social pressure as well. So yeah, that plays a part. So I know I have to eat better and work out. I have to watch my calories and stuff, but yeah,
Where
it's
did you
not happening.
learn? Where did you learn that that's what you have to do to lose weight?
I think from these companies called Fitness Pal, Noom, and even from Beachbody, that if you want to lose weight, you have to watch how much you're eating and all that stuff accordingly. If you start watching your calories, how much you're intaking and all that stuff, it will help you, right? So that's what I heard from them.
Okay. And then, have you ever seen the show The Biggest Loser?
I think I've seen few episodes, not like,
okay.
Yeah.
But you know the preface of the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I used to watch that. I don't like the show, to be honest, but I used to watch it, and they would follow exactly what you're saying, right? I don't know what their calories were, but they followed a strict caloric diet. And obviously they worked out, like, I don't know, 6 hours a day. So I use The Biggest Loser as like the example of that approach that you're talking about. Like that is basically a lab experiment of that approach.
Yeah.
And sometimes those people would go into weigh-ins and they wouldn't lose weight. So when they're following it, because you're saying, I know what to do, I just don't do it. So they are doing it like as full out as you could possibly do it. So when that scale doesn't move after all of that, what does your brain tell you is the reason?
I think again, they say that human bodies are different in terms of like you're not getting enough sleep, your hormone levels, and if you're not if you're doing something but your body is not moving, it means you are not. It takes time for your weight to show also, so it won't happen like in few days. It will take time, I guess.
Okay. And then if all of that is true, how do you manage or measure or approach weight with all of those factors?
Sorry, I didn't get that part. Like if I was the one in that?
Yeah, so let's just say you're calorie counting and you're doing everything perfectly, because so you're saying, I know what to do and I'm doing it, and your weight doesn't move. Then how do you account for all those other variables? What do you do next?
I think if it's not budging at all, I think a person like me probably will go kind of cuckoo that, okay, let's do intermittent fasting and calorie dieting, like 600 calories. I'm not eating anything. I'm just doing water fasting and or doing staying on protein shake, all that kind of stuff. I know I can go to that point, but so far I don't have any motivation.
Sure.
To be honest, like I'm not going to work. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I don't have to show for it, nobody. So, but yeah, there are a few functions in future will be coming where I want to look good, and even I want to look good for myself. But still that is not strong enough. But if it comes to that point, I know I'll push myself.
And what do you think your body wants?
Sweets.
No, that's what your mind wants. What do you think your body wants? You want sweets, that's fine. But what does your body want?
I think a balanced diet, a good, healthy diet, a balanced diet. Like, to be honest, when I did intermittent fasting, I felt my body said thank you. Like, in terms of that, you are not just throwing food in me kind of thing. And you are, because when I'm doing intermittent fasting, I'm just having coffee. And after that, whatever time I'm having my lunch and dinner, my body gets time to digest everything and all that stuff. But when I'm not doing that, in the morning, I'm having a full good breakfast, then lunch, then dinner. And my body's like, I cannot take care of it. Kind of like it's just my head. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I mean, this is what I would love to help you separate right now is what your body wants and what you think you want or what you want to want. So I'm going to keep going down this path with you. So your body, how do you think your body feel? Actually, let me ask it this way. When you do all the things, so you did Beachbody the second time, it didn't work as well. And even when you did Beachbody the first time, it's not like it was a long-term solution. I mean, I know you got pregnant again, but you still, it sounds like still had stuff going on with weight and food. And so like, what do you think your body's trying to tell you when you do all those things and it doesn't work?
to change my approach. Try something else.
Yes. Okay. To try something else. But what you reflected to me, which is exactly what I did, by the way, and pretty much what everybody does, is when something doesn't work, we just do it more. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but you just said, if it didn't work, what's your body telling you? That's the wrong thing.
Yeah. Probably.
It's the wrong thing, right? Not do it more, not do it more intense, not take away food more, right? Like you're looking in the wrong direction, right? And then I think it's confusing because when it does work, we feel like our body is saying thank you and that was the right approach. But the reason why that happens is because it's mimicking what your body wants. So if your body is getting too much food and not enough exercise, which is the common thing that most people say, and then you do a diet which minimizes your food and increases your exercise, initially your body's like, great, that's what I've been asking for. But because you're doing it in a very controlling and manipulative way towards your body, eventually it realizes that it was all fake. And it's like, oh, she's not like eating less food because she's actually hungry for less food. She's not eating less food because she wants to eat less food. She's following a diet. Like not the same thing inside of the body. And eventually it stops working because the body's like throwing up signs like, please stop. Like, this isn't what I'm asking for. So I guess what I want to turn to you is I'm going to pose the question again, like, what is it when you gain weight, when your body holds on to weight, if your body could write you a letter, what do you think it would be telling you?
That don't treat me as a guinea pig. Yeah. And do what is you feel right to do. And do it in moderation. Don't go extreme. And oh, well, I feel like you're talking to my soul. And being like, be yourself, eat what you like, but be in moderation. Exercise, not because you want to lose weight, exercise because it makes you feel good, or not the body shape you want to be in, but you love your body.
It's like the most perfect advice I could have ever given.
Oh, well.
So my point is that we're taught to search everywhere but inside of ourselves for the solutions to the very symptoms that are happening inside of ourselves. Like, your body is the one holding on to weight or gaining weight. And yet we search everywhere outside of our body to figure out what to do. And it's very rare that you're going to accidentally stumble across the thing that your body actually wants. And I don't know anybody's body that's asking for Atkins diet, Beachbody, intermittent fasting. Like, it's not asking for any of that, right? It might mimic some of those things. Like, for example, my husband does not have an appetite in the morning. His first meal is naturally at about 2 o'clock. That's just how he's always eaten. It's not intentional. I wake up hungry. I would be miserable and shaky and crazy if I didn't eat first thing in the morning. That's my body. So for the people who start intermittent fasting and they're like, wow, this is great, they might have just accidentally stumbled across the way their body actually wants to eat. But like, how many years did we just hear breakfast is the most important meal? Breakfast is the most important meal. And then intermittent fasting came on and everyone just threw it away. Like it never existed.
True.
So you can do either one, but which one is natural to you?
Yeah, true. So true. I think, I don't know. Like, I have to like probably sit with that thought and find out like what does I want. So I love my food. Like my breakfast, I love it. My lunches, I love it. I have a feeling that I can live without my dinner, or probably I can live without my lunches, but my breakfast and dinners are more important.
Why do you
But
want to live without them? Why is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm
up?
saying. I'm still talking in the same thing, that what can I cut down?
Yeah.
Like
why?
I'm talking and I like feel like split personality, and the other person like, why are you thinking like that? But I'm just, yeah. It's
that
probably
part,
we are trained.
I was just gonna say that part isn't you talking. So that's the weight loss billion-dollar industry is turning everybody into these puppets of like, please regurgitate what we need you to regurgitate information wise, as opposed to listening to your own intuition, which is what you said when I said, what would your body tell you? And you said, just be me and listen to me. Like it literally told you that. So like, that's the answer. And you are in the like, so you're hearing your intuitive thoughts and you're hearing what you've been taught, and they're competing with one another.
Yeah.
Enjoying food is the most important part of losing weight. The more you enjoy your food, the more satisfied and fulfilled you'll be, and the less you need of it. 1,200 calories is starvation. That's not an appropriate calorie amount to eat per day. You never need to count your calories anyway, because your body will just tell you when to stop. It doesn't even matter. But that takes some time to get back in sync with your body so that it can tell you that information. So you never have to rely on anything external. Your best weight loss plan lives inside of you. It can't come from outside of you. But you need to get excited about enjoying food again.
True.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing, but I feel I get too much excited. When I get too much excited, I overeat. Like,
so let's think about this. So if you restrict and let me define restrict. So restrict could mean you actually say you can't have it, but restrict could also mean you can only have it right now, but then you can't next week, or you can only have it right now, but not again ever, or whatever. And restrict is also labeling, like you can have it, but you shouldn't have it. So use that as our definition of restrict. So if you restrict, what do you think the response to that restriction is going to be?
Yeah, I want it more. And
then when you give in, what do you think is going to happen?
It's like as much possible that I don't know when I'm going to get it again.
Yes. So your overeating, your too much excitement is only a response to what you've set it up to be. The minute you remove the restriction and the rules, that goes away with it.
True. So how are you saying, is it like no foods are bad foods, like having a burger every day? If my body wants it, it should be okay?
Yeah. And usually what happens is whatever foods you've labeled as bad, or whatever foods you've restricted, so basically wherever you're in deprivation with, at first, they're going to show up a lot. Like a lot. And it's going to feel very scary. It's going to feel like, am I ever going to go a day where I don't want to eat hamburgers? Like it's never going to end. I'm going to eat 6 hamburgers a day for the rest of my life and be obese. Like that's how it feels, because it's like you're on a deserted island and you just came off of it and there's no rules, and it is like mayhem. So that is true. Now, the process that I use with my clients is I put structure around it, not on restricting what you eat ever, obviously, but I give them a way to eat so that when they are in this period of getting out of deprivation, it doesn't feel out of control and crazy and they don't gain weight. So there is a way to play around with this time where you're getting back into pleasure eating, where it doesn't get crazy and it actually feels really good. So that is one of the things that I can really help people with, because I know that can get scary. But essentially that's it. That's like the getting out of deprivation period of time. Like I was eating bags of potato chips, and then it was like after day 3, I'm like, I cannot eat another potato chip. Like it doesn't even look good. So it does take that like climb out of deprivation first.
Okay.
And that's scary.
Yeah.
It does come to an end though. Now, here's what I'll say, because a lot of people tell me I've done that before and I just gain weight and it never ends. There is a very specific way to approach it. You do have to be present and mindful with your meals. If you're just eating them mindlessly and unconsciously, then you're never going to actually get to a place with food where you recognize, oh, I'm sick of that, or that causes this digestive symptom, or that stuff can only happen with presence. So if you're numbing out or checking out, then you won't ever get to the end of that crazy period after deprivation.
Okay. So how we do that?
So how you do that, I mean, the how is as simple as just be present when you eat, right? So it's just not multitasking. It's when you eat, you sit down and you eat. Like you kind of have a hard rule around no food goes in my mouth unless I can actually mentally digest that it's happening. So either sitting at the table, or at least when you're putting the food in your mouth, you're like, I'm eating this almond right now and I taste it. Like it's just bringing awareness to when you're eating, so that it doesn't become like binge eating is a mindless out of body experience. So as soon as you bring consciousness to everything, those things just naturally go away. And overeating almost always happens because of lack of pleasure, lack of fulfillment, lack of satisfaction, lack of awareness.
But what if, like, if you are bringing that awareness and consciousness while you're eating, but again, the mind of yours, which is well trained, comes in the picture. Like sometimes you can't even like know who's talking. Is it me? Is it the trained mind, or you know? Yeah.
You do know. Because I asked you, what does your body want? And there was no like pause. It flowed right out of you. Like the minute you asked, it told you. All you have to do is ask.
Yeah, probably. So like you suggesting that whenever I eat next time, I ask myself, do I want to eat this, or do I need to eat this, or is it good for my body?
I would say want. Now, so you're not at the place. So in the beginning, you can't really worry about, is this good for me? Do I need it? Because you're getting out of deprivation. So the way to think about it is when you've been dieting, you're in an irrational state of mind around food. So you can't make rational decisions. It doesn't matter if it's good for you. It doesn't matter if you need it. You can't be in a logical place yet. You have to get yourself to a rational, logical place. And that takes some time. So in the beginning, it's all just you giving into all the temptations with presence, so that you can get to a place where you're like, all right, like we don't just eat endlessly if given the option. Like if we're actually honest with ourselves and present, we do stop eventually.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, baby. I'm okay. Thank you. Yeah, that was
so that period, that's okay. That period of time is crucial. Now, once you're out of that, and you'll know you're out of it because nothing is efforted. You just naturally eat what you want. You naturally stop when you're full. Like there's no effort around any of it. And once you get there, then you can start asking questions like, do I really need this? Is this good for me? And you'll get logical, rational responses that are easy to obey. But before that, it's not time for that.
Okay.
It's all just, what do I want? What do I want that I haven't been allowing myself to do? And how do I get back to a place where all food is just neutral? It's all just pleasurable and enjoyable, and it's a positive experience.
Sorry, I was getting a call. I just disconnected.
No problem.
I get your point. It's just sinking.
Yeah, I get it. And the other thing you'll know is because it feels good. Like
Yeah.
when you listen to your intuition, it feels good. When you disobey, it doesn't feel good. Like dieting doesn't feel good because it goes against our natural intuitive knowing of what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the thing you said before, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. Truth is, you don't know what to do because you've never really asked the right source.
Yeah. I always ask outside. I should be asking myself, do I give permission to my body to enjoy and accept whatever I want to accept rather than, yeah,
Do
true.
I even want this, right? Like you have a food in front of you. Do I want this? It's that simple.
Yeah.
And let me distinguish between wanting to want and wanting. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times people are like, I don't want the sweets. No, you do want the sweets. You just want to not want the sweets. Like, but you're not being honest, right? So we need to be honest. Like, I want them, whether it's good or bad. I want them. Like, I need to let that just sit there and be there, as opposed to trying to pretend. And also, like, do you really want to go the rest of your life without sweets? Do you really want to not want them? Like, why? They bring you pleasure.
Yeah,
And
they
when they're
bring.
not overdone, it's a positive experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I
And
think what
you said moderation too. And so what does
yes.
moderation mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
means that
I think I'm trying to understand your point, and it's not attaching feelings to the food in terms of if I won't, like sometimes it's like you like the taste, you enjoy it rather than thinking about at that time to have the second one or not. What you have in your hand, first enjoy that
yeah.
and feel totally satisfied then, because I think that's what happens. My brain is like too fast. Eating one is like, oh, this is so good, I'm gonna have the another one too. That okay, if it's good, enjoy this first. Enjoy, have this first, and then take a 2 minutes pause and see, do I want this? The
Yeah.
other one,
It's
right? Yeah. It
100%
kind of
right. This is exactly what I have to do with my 5-year-old. Not to make you sound like a 5-year-old, but I'll put food in front of him and he'll be like, can I have X, Y, and Z? Or I think he even sometimes says like, can I have more of whatever? And I'm like, eat what you have.
Yeah.
And when you're done, if you're still hungry, you can have more. But like, why
Mm-hmm.
are we talking about that? You still have a
Yeah.
plate of food in front of you. Like, start there. But the reason why that happens is because in the past, you've put so many restrictions on what you can eat. So
Mm-hmm.
it's trying desperately to like think in the future, like, well, I don't know when we're going to eat again. And right now, she seems to be in an allowing state of mind. So let's go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and get as much in as we can.
Yes. True. Makes sense.
Okay, so I feel like we're pretty clear on what you need to do with food. Now, what about movement?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on there?
So okay. So the exercise part, like I think I enjoy doing treadmill, but our treadmill is downstairs in the basement, and this will sound so bizarre, and I feel too tired to go in the basement. But I like the treadmill, that when I run after that, I feel good, that I listen to my music in my zone, I'm doing that, and I feel good. But I'm on kind of the third floor and going in the basement to do that. And, my mind starts giving me, oh, it's so cold in the basement and all that kind of like, I know what I'm doing to myself. But my mind says, you know what, you're comfy, you're okay, you're sitting in your bed, like you don't want to do that to yourself. Then I started doing some kind of like yoga in my like in my bedroom so
Yeah.
I can do it. And then I pushed my husband that I need a yoga mat. Yeah, sorry about that. So I asked him, I need a yoga mat, and he got me that. And I never, like, that was my excuse. I don't do workout because I don't have a yoga mat. He got me that. It is still in my like cupboard. It's sitting there. He actually taunted me twice, like 2 or 3 times that, oh, like, where is that thing you were asking for? And it's like, then I ignore, or, I don't get time, but I know it's not, I don't have time. I have time, but I don't do it. I don't know why.
This is so human. So just so you know. So here's how I think about it. When I say I want to do something and my mind gives me reasons to not do it, instead of beating myself up, like, what is wrong with you? Are you self-sabotaging? Are you stupid? Are you insane? Like, what the heck? Like, it's better for you. You do actually want to do it, and you're just coming up with reasons not to do it, you crazy person. So instead of doing that, which is what I used to do, I use it as an opportunity to get very curious. Like, why would I say I want to do something and then look for every reason not to do it? Like, remove the judgment and get curious. And whenever I've done that, I always get some kind of answer. So either it's like, sometimes it's because you don't actually really want to do that. You just want the results. That's the only reason you're doing it. And you only feel good after. You actually don't enjoy it during. And then it's like, all right, well, good to know, right? So
yeah,
sometimes it's that. And then other times it's because I've turned it into a have to. And as human beings, the minute you turn it into a have to, we become, defiant toddlers. We're like, no, I don't want to do it, right? Even though you do.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's the energy of where it's coming from. And the last thing I'll say about it is when we have chronic symptoms, so weight gain being a chronic symptom, meaning something that keeps recurring, as opposed to a one-off, we get very motivated to suppress the symptom. Like, I will go exercise more, I will eat less, I will do whatever I need to do so this symptom goes away. It's so uncomfortable and I hate it so much. I will do whatever it takes to make it go away. And when we take any action out of that state of mind, we tend to not do very well. We either do it and it doesn't go well, or we just don't do it at all. And it's because the energy of where it's coming from. Because the whole reason the chronic symptom is there is not to go to that place. And so when you go to that place, the symptom like amps up. Like, oh, okay, that's how you're going to do this. I'll show you, right? And it either gets worse or it won't go away no matter how hard you try, because it's like digging its feet into the ground. Like, you're missing the point. So when you're making decisions that are triggered by the chronic symptom, the decisions you make have to be decisions you just want to make, not to shut the symptom up, right? Like, what do you just want to do just for the sake of doing? Not what do you want to do so that you lose weight, so that you're healthier, so that, like, remove the so that and be like, what do you want to do?
Not work out.
Not work out, right? And that might be true for a period of time. I've gone through periods of time where I just don't want to work out. Just like with the food, I always come out of it. I always get to a point where I'm naturally guided to do something and it's easy and effortless to do it. But when I'm fighting it, I back off. I give myself permission not to do it.
Okay.
If it's a true desire, it'll keep coming back.
Yeah.
And once again, just like with the food, there's going to be a period of time when you're coming off of dieting that you're just going to want to be defiant against everything, because it's not autonomous. You don't feel like you have free choice and free will. So you have to show yourself that you do. A good example of this is I got in a really bad car accident many years ago when I couldn't move. And then it was like, and before that, I was exercising like 4 hours a day and not losing weight. And then after the car accident, I couldn't move, couldn't exercise, couldn't do anything. And it took like a month and I was like, oh, I actually like to exercise. Like, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Until I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it happens that you want to move your body and you feel like going for a walk because the weather is nice or whatever. So it's like, it is not you're doing it to lose weight. You are doing it to enjoy the weather and to, like, I think we put different reasons of doing what we are doing, and it makes it like not like pleasure.
Yeah, we're really good pleasure suckers.
Yeah.
We could suck the pleasure out of anything.
Yeah. And with yeah, true. That's true.
Yeah, we're good at that. So I would give yourself permission to do absolutely nothing. And now here's how you, just like with the food, I talked a lot about how that only works if you're really present, right? You have to be present with the experience. Well, the same thing with movement, the way that I see it play out, and this is with any habit change. If you're not honest about what's going on, then it doesn't usually find your way. You don't usually find your way out of it quite as gracefully. So the way that looks is when you say, I'm going to do yoga tomorrow, and then you don't, you're not allowed to give an excuse. You got to stand in the reality of, I just didn't want to do it. It wasn't because I didn't have the mat. It wasn't because I didn't have the time. I didn't want to do it. And that's okay. That's where you got to get to with it, is just allowing the truth to be the truth. You didn't freaking feel like it. You didn't feel like walking down to the basement that day. You just didn't.
Yes. Because I think, yes, that's true, that we associate pain to the things we like it. Like I feel I want to do treadmill because I listen to my music and that's my time and I enjoy it. But then I associate a pain that who's going to go in the basement, and the basement is cold. So if I take that away, that like being present, that, but I enjoy it. Like it's going to be 2 minutes. Just go do it. Like, yeah.
You'll want to do it bad enough. If you want to do it and you remove all that, you'll want to do it bad enough that you just won't care.
Yeah.
And that's that's where you want to get to. So we call that like it's an internal motivation, or we call it intrinsic motivation in my psychology world. So intrinsic motivation, it's coming from inside of you. Like it is what you want to do no matter what. It doesn't matter who knows, doesn't matter what the result is. It's what you intrinsically want to do versus external, or that sort of motivation that's coming from getting something out of it, that it sucks all the beauty out of it.
True. Yeah, that's true.
So it's a whole lot of permission giving, right? It's a whole lot of allowing whatever thoughts are coming through you to just be there and be right and not be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I learned a lot today, what I didn't learn in a long time. It was like, what's the next thing I can do? What's how she lost weight, how that person lost weight, or how that, all that thinking about it, then just being present and feeling what I feel like eating and eat that. And yes, not eat because I can't eat, that kind of mindset, I think. Yeah.
And the reason why weight loss happens from doing this is because of a few things. One is because it's when you get out of that crazy world of the dieting and the weight loss, it switches your body from fight or flight to rest and digest. And weight loss happens in rest and digest. So it automatically, actually from a physiological standpoint, puts your body back into a fat burning state. The other reason it works is because it's the symptom of weight is there for a reason. And when you actually learn what you're supposed to learn from it, it doesn't have a reason to be there anymore. Like you've gathered what you need to gather. You've learned the for most of my clients, it's a skill in trust. It's a skill in listening to their body. It's a skill in connection and presence. Like those skills that it was there to teach you, you learned. And so it doesn't make sense to be there anymore. And the other reason it works is because it's a plan that's coming from you.
Yes.
Nobody else.
Nobody else is forcing you. It's what it feels right. Then you don't doubt it that it's gonna work or not gonna work for me. It's like, that's what my body wants. If it's gonna work or not gonna work, I don't have that attachment to it.
That's it. That's right. Beautiful. And thank you for sharing all that, because so many people are going to relate to everything that you shared about how your thoughts are working and how you've made decisions. Like everybody has been there. So I appreciate you sharing that. And for anybody listening or watching, if you want this kind of support, then that we're doing here, that's what my 4-phase program is designed to do. The first phase being going back to pleasure-focused eating. The second phase being getting back in your body, turning it into a fat burning machine by actually connecting and listening to it. The third phase being using yoga and movement to really get into a state of connection with your body and like in a more physical way. And the last step being getting into that really authentic and intuitive living. So that's what my course does. And that's what I love to help women do. And I have been doing it since 2009. And it is absolutely my pleasure. So thank you, Priyanka, for being here.
Thank you, Michelle.
And if anybody else needs any support with that, just shoot me a message on Facebook. I'm happy to have a chat with you about that. And I appreciate you being here with me live or on the replay later.